What's up, Wolfpack? Cole Gregg here today to introduce you to the all-new 2024 Canyon Spectral. Taking notes from the last Spectral model, Canyon has went in and changed quite a bit for this new model. Most specifically, they bumped the travel down from 150 in the rear on the previous generation to 140 millimeters and paired that with a 150 millimeter fork, which is down 10 millimeters from 160 on the previous version. Canyon focused their attention on this bike to the everyday rider, someone looking for one bike that can really do it all, kind of blend genres and really just have a good time out on the trail. All right, so let's get into some of the changes on this new frame. Most notably, talked about earlier there, the change in travel, as well as the sizing. So this bike is offered from extra small to extra large in Europe and overseas. Here in the United States and Canada, we are getting size small through extra large. On this new model, Canyon has spec'd the bike with either a 27.5-inch rear wheel or the 29-inch version pictured here via an available flip chip on the chainstay. That chainstay flip chip raises the bottom bracket by 8 millimeters and steepens the head tube angle by 1/2 degree for that 27.5-inch wheel. For 2024, there are 4 build kit options. There is the CF LTD, CF9, 8, and 7 options. At time of launch, Canyon is only offering the CF7 and CF8 models here in the United States, with the pricing coming in at $3,699 for the CF7 and $4,199 for the CF8. For this first ride report, we were given the CF9 to shred on our local trails. With that said, most of the testing took place here at Beacon Hill, as well as a jump trail over in Coeur d'Alene called Can Course, and 1 or 2 days, or rather 2 days, over at Duthie Hill, which is where the riding clips in this video are from. The engineers took their learnings from the last Spectral model and implemented some changes to the kinematics on this bike. The leverage curve changes increase the off-the-top suppleness while also creating a smooth linear ramp through the entire stroke. Additionally, the engineers backed off the anti-squat to improve traction when both climbing and descending. On that first ride, it was very noticeable how supple off the top this 140 millimeter bike could be. I'm currently running 3 volume reducers in the shock at 200 PSI and 28% sag for my 170 pound body weight. With the fork, I stuck to 95.5 PSI with 2 tokens with high speed compression at 3 and low speed compression right in the middle. The chainstays on this new model have been slimmed down, increasing the heel clearance by about 2 to 3 millimeters depending on the size, while also increasing the compliance out of that rear end. Speaking of compliance, the engineers also went ahead and stiffened up the frame in some key points, including an all-new one-piece rocker link, really keeping the front of the bike connected to the back. The new rocker link also reduces the lateral loads to the shock. All Spectral models come from the factory with Canyon's Keep It Stable system. Some notable updates here is they've gone ahead and decreased the amount of feedback from that system. So your kind of middle setting now was what once was the low setting. Included in the box is a backing plate that allows you to completely pull that system off the bike if it's not for you. One trick little part on this new frame is a dual piece rubber kind of counter rotating flap to keep debris out of that lower link. It works super good. As you can tell, it's been quite wet here in the Pacific Northwest, and I haven't got any rocks or anything like that stuck in the bike with my time on it. Canyon has also reduced the overall height of that seat tube. I have a 240 mil dropper here with still some room to go down. And for me, it's generally a battle to kind of find that comfortable seating position. But for me on this bike, as you can see, it's actually quite low and really enjoyable to ride. Another cool feature on this frame is the down tube storage. They have gone ahead and included this on all models. There's a really cool knee lever locking mechanism, which you might notice that there's no water bottle here. I had a little issue on the bike rack where a pedal found that mechanism and popped it off on a road trip, which I can say is wild. Definitely had no issues on the trail, but just that unlucky pedal went and found that and fortunately lost the cover, and yeah, it was pretty funny. But included in this is also a neat bag that has specific pouches for your tube, CO2, and tools to keep everything quiet when it's stored away. Canyon will also be debuting a super light waterproof jacket that will fit in that down tube storage area as well. All right, let's talk geometry. So I'm 6'1", and next to me here is a size medium frame. When speaking with Canyon initially, they mentioned that their sizing was changing, and if I wanted that 475 millimeter reach, to go ahead and stick with the size medium. Canyon has decreased the sizing variance between each size, so it brings all the sizes kind of more together and allows riders to pick or choose if they want to size up, size down, or kind of find right in the middle what works for them. The CF8 model we have here on test features RockShox Lyric Ultimate, as well as a Super Deluxe Ultimate, SRAM XX transmission, SRAM's code RSCs, DT Swiss XM 1700 wheels, and Canyon's own G5 cockpit and dropper post. All right, so what you're all here for is how does this thing ride? I have become a fan of shorter travel bikes, always being the one that's overbiked, not really realizing that I didn't need 170 millimeters of travel to ride all these trails. And with that said, this 140, 150 combo for my local zone and some of the places I've traveled to has been an absolute treat. Kind of when I got on it, I was trying to remember the last kind of short travel bike I rode, which was the Cannondale Habit. And it really just feels like an ultra refined version of that. It has a bigger window for air, kind of that like high speed chunk where you're getting loose. Your margin for air is very wide. The bike's very stable, but also super playful when you want to press into the suspension and pop and play on those side hits. When it comes to climbing, traction is at an abundance. The all-day comfort is there. It's really just exactly what I would hope for in a short travel bike, something that gives me that platform to pedal on and sprint, but also doesn't beat you up when you're in the saddle all day. I found that this bike allowed me to really change directions, kind of pick and choose my lines or change my line mid-trail, pop, play, smash, like it kind of does everything. And hopping on something like this out of the box and just feeling ultra comfortable from day one was something that really impressed me. We'll definitely save more of our ride impressions for the long-term review, but I can definitely say from the first few weeks on this bike, it has been an absolute joy. Specifically focused on the Spectral is ride always, like ride anything, play around, have fun. Don't let the bike dictate where and what you're gonna ride. Just enjoy your time out on the trails, and they definitely succeeded with that goal. If there's anything I missed that you're really wondering about, go ahead and drop a comment below or check out the article on the loamwolf.com for more detailed specs on the Geo, price availability, and overall what Canyon has put into this new frame. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you out on the trails.